Heidi ho, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Nothing could make my day any better because I am living on the high of my Detroit Lions beating the Baltimore Ravens last night. What a game. Fantastic playing on both sides. It was exciting. I can't tell you how happy I am that my Lions are back to their winning form. I love the way they were playing. So had to get that out. Nothing could make my day go bad. And then, of course, I woke up this morning and realized that Ryan Ruth was going to be doing closing arguments this morning, which meant we would likely, there was a possibility anyway that we would get a verdict in that case today. And then I heard about Cosgrove resigning. I was like, the hits just keep on coming. And then I went to my social media and I saw Lindsay Gaetani. We're going to talk about that too. And then, of course, I was still on the heels of that crazy civil hearing in the Karen Reed civil trial yesterday. So we've got a lot to discuss. First off, I am going to kind of do a little review on the Ryan Ruth case. There was indeed a verdict reached today. If you haven't heard or you're not aware of the case, Ryan Ruth is the individual who was being prosecuted for the attempted assassination on President Trump last year during the campaign on his golf course. And he represented himself. He made that choice. And in addition to that, he was scolded a lot of times by the judge. She was not happy with how he was presenting things. And so when it came time for him to present his defense, he started to testify on the witness stand and started to go off the rails very quickly, and she put an end to it very, very, very quickly. And so that's why closing arguments were this morning. The jury was given the case earlier today. They deliberated for a little over 2 hours, is what my understanding is. And they came back with a guilty verdict on all charges. But wait, it doesn't stop there. The next thing that happened is he took pencils or pens or something on the table where he was sitting, and he started stabbing himself in the neck, trying to kill himself. I did not see that one coming. I know his daughter was traumatized and trying to make statements and everything. She ended up leaving the courtroom. It was a mess. This was all in front of the jury as well. So crazy, crazy, crazy time. So the first thing that I am kind of wanting to review is the Lindsay Gaetani of it all. And so I have, anybody follow her on the socials? I'm going to see if I can get this pulled up here, her video that she did. All right, let's see here. Okay. Ms. Demeanor is still a learner here. So hello, Ava. Glad to have you. Next witness videos. I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to look into that. And hello, Stephanie. Glad to have you with us tonight, both of you. Thank you so much. So did y'all see this video that popped up on your socials this past weekend? I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'm going to give you it's 13 minutes long, but in all seriousness, it probably needed to be about 2. So we're just gonna let Lindsay speak for herself.
September 20th, 2025. I'm trying to decide how I'm going to go about doing this.
I already have to stop. I don't know, Lindsay. Maybe this should have been an internal conversation you had before you hit the record button. I'm just a suggestion. I don't know that you want to think this through while you're recording, but I digress.
Let me first be clear that the series of video clips that I'm about to put out there, the series of the truthful statements that I'm about to put out there, and you can, I know everybody, the turtle riders are going to say that I'm not correct. You just might want to listen, though, to what I'm about to say. But let me be clear that the series of things that I'm about to start putting out there have nothing to do with Aiden Carney, or the ones that I'm going to start putting out there are going to have no relevance, have nothing to do with Aiden Carney. They're instead going to have to do with
other people that she doesn't want to talk about. We all know it's Kate Peter. I mean, she just as much said so in everything else that she was saying. Okay, sidebar. Next Witness is a great channel. It compiles YouTube creator reactions to trials, mostly Karen Reed, but they started on it. Oh, yay. I will definitely go check that out. Thank you so much, Ava. Okay, so I just got to tell you, there's only so much of this verbal thinking that my brain can process. I did the full 13 minutes of it the first time. I don't have it in me. It's not going to happen. So we're going to go ahead and see what else her socials have to say. And I would love to know how to enlarge the screen, but doggone it, I'm still learning. So, but she does say here, this was also on Saturday. Please do not associate me with Kate Peter ever. Thank you. This has gone on for far too long. Okay, I'm game. And then I'm guessing the second video in the series came out, but it didn't make any sense to me. I don't understand. There was this crazy highest to lowest 2025 soundtrack. I don't know. I don't know. And then, sorry for the delay of video number 2. What I can tell you right now is that, yes, the blogger YouTuber is likely having his charges dropped on 9/24. That'd be tomorrow, y'all. Who do we know has a hearing tomorrow? Could it be Aiden Carney? I think so. And then she says, my advocate, Pamela Friedman, who I finally was able to reach at almost 9 p.m. tonight, informed me that she was, busy with holiday today, but told me that Cosgrove was likely withdrawing due to conflict. Whoopsie, looks like that came true. She claims that no other prosecutor in NCDA will likely take the cases because of Turtle Boy being involved. When pressed on it if it will be transferred to another jurisdiction, she stated that they would likely have a hard time finding anyone from any jurisdiction to prosecute the blogger. Okay, that seems reasonable. I'm not really sure where she's getting all this information, but okay, interesting. And then she says, this is all like from 2 or 3 in the morning today. Did y'all understand that? Did y'all get that? Because I was up at 5:30 because that's normally when I get up. And I happen to know that y'all are on Eastern time in Massachusetts. And this had already been up for a couple hours at that point. I was like, oh, sweet niblets. What are you doing on Twitter at that hour? Anyway. So she says 15 hours ago, you can do the math on that one. I want to explicitly add this was not due to Grant Smith Ellis. Okay. I wasn't concerned about that. I don't know. Maybe other people were. When this retaliatory lawsuit was filed, and this is a complete diatribe. Y'all, I'm not going to read it all. Go check out her Twitter, her X, whatever this thing is called these days. It's got a lot of information in there, and I'm thinking Lindsay's bringing it, baby. She is going full on scorched earth. I love it. I am here for the tea. I am unapologetic about it. I don't want to see people go through bad things, but hey, if you got a story to tell and you've been wronged, tell your story. Get it out there, Lindsay. Get it off your chest. Make yourself feel better. Someone commented on one of my tweets today that X is like her therapist. And I agree with that. I totally agree with that. And then she says something, I don't know. Y'all are going to have to help me. I am new to the crazy who's on what base with who's mad at each other with live streaming YouTubers and all of that. I don't play in that sandbox, but I know what people I favor and the ones that I don't. But anyway, apparently she has a lot to say about this little clip that was going on at the time. And I guess it's Kevin. I don't know who Kevin is. Maybe y'all can help me out. I'm new to this whole argument on the interwebs. And she talks about it being deleted. And then she starts giving some receipts. I don't know who Mary is, but Mary apparently is involved in all of this too. Poor Mary. I don't know if that's really Mary's name or if that's code for something else, but they were at the library, it looks like, and some crazy stuff went down in the parking lot and bumping into each other. It's weird, isn't it? It's not just me. I need some validation. Can y'all tell me? Is it weird or am I the weird one? Am I the problem? I need to know if I'm the problem or not. And then she starts to talk about Kate and masshole mafia, or mafia, masshole mafia. I don't even know what it is. I just knew before I ever came into this thing, I was not a big fan. So she says, anything new on the federal government, Kate, that you've dug up? So now, seeing all of this, I am only speculating, the wand of speculation, which always gets everyone in trouble. I can only speculate that pretty much everything that we've been being informed of and being told from supporters of Aidan Carney, including his attorneys, is accurate, and that he had every right to be as upset as he has been about this, because it's starting to look like it was all made up. Am I the only one that thinks that? Surely I'm not the only one that thinks that. Here's a very interesting tweet. And hello, Ruby. Welcome. So happy to have you here tonight. She says, when I began speaking to Kate, and here we have another novel, y'all. Tell me, did y'all go and look at any of this today? I can't be the only one that was checking the Twitter feed of her and Kate Peter all day, because I'm like, oh, what's popping off next? It was like Real Housewives in real life, but not really in real life, because the internet isn't really real life, but some of this stuff actually is real life. It's weird. And then 2 hours ago, I didn't even see this one, y'all. See, I was trying to pay attention and I got stupid real life stuff that happened. Turtle riders are some of the dumbest people on the planet. And I'm not even trying to insult. It's just frightening how many people get caught up in cult-like behavior and refuse to keep an open mind. I have a completely open mind. Show me evidence and proof, and I'm your girl, man. I am there. Correlation does not equal causation. Carney was not set up by anyone, not Kate, not Tully, not me, not anyone. No one took him away from his kids and mother except for himself, period. I can yell from the rooftops about Kate being a covert narcissist or Tully being a corrupt liar, but it doesn't change the facts. There was no setup. There is literal evidence. All of you simpletons have believed his always someone else's fault mentality for years. You blindly defend him and swallow up his lies like Jim Jones on crack. So no, this is not me backpedaling. This is me speaking out about my experiences. Well, I say go for it, Lindsay. Speak out, girl. I'm happy to hear that you have found your honest and integrity-filled voice. It sounds like something has happened and you have decided you are taking charge of your life, and I always applaud anyone that does that. I don't have to agree, but I can applaud your path forward. So there's kind of my Lindsay Gaetani stuff, and I think it kind of, well, we kind of can talk a little bit about Cosgrove. I didn't see that officially. I know there were rumors, everybody talks and everything. I didn't see that one happening. I thought it was, hopeful and not real. I was like, I think that everybody's getting just a little too excited about what's going on. But turns out there was some fire to that smoke. Who the heck knew there was some fire to that smoke? So I have been told over this past several days that I needed to check the hyperlinks. Janet, you got to check the hyperlinks on the Megamotion. And, I barely had enough time to get through the 88 pages of the Megamotion. But I made time today to make sure that I had some hyperlinks to talk about. Y'all ready for some hyperlinks? Let me see how good I am doing with this whole live streaming stuff. Thank you so much for your patience, anyone that watches this. So we will start with the redacted, of course. Commonwealth of Massachusetts against Aidan Carney. I am going to skip. I'm not going to read this motion. We're going to highlight the hyperlinks. I'm all about some hyperlinks now. And the first one I have a note on that I feel like we all need to explore and we need to listen to. I think it's an audio. Oh, yes, it is. This is when Mello called the police department on behalf of the Alberts. And I found it fascinating when I listened to it. I think we should take another walk down memory lane and listen to it again. I just got to get to the right page here, so bear with me. I hope I'm not making you sick. I'll do better next time. Okay. Hyperlink me away here.
This is my favorite classy gift to give.
I'm so sorry. I forgot my premium.
Yeah, I'm recording Sergeant Basin speaking.
Yes, Sergeant, is that what you have?
Who would you like to speak with, sir?
My name is Ken Mello. I'm a prosecutor with the Norfolk DA's office. Can I speak to your shift commander?
Well, I'm on duty right now. We have a lieutenant, too. But how can I help you?
Okay. There's a protest going on outside B&E. Would you mind sending a car down there just to make sure that they're
We'll take a look.
not intimidating us?
And what's your name again?
My name is Attorney Ken Mello.
And who are you working for?
I'm the special prosecutor
okay.
regarding Aidan Carney.
Got it. All right. So the prosecutor, you said there's people outside B&E?
Right.
Okay.
Just have a cruise go by, make sure there's nothing.
We'll check it out.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Roger. Hey, Mike. I got a call from Kenneth Mello. He's the special prosecutor, I guess.
686 has that. Let me know.
Anyways, there's some protesters out in front of D&E, so Zeph is going to take a drive-by.
Yeah, they can protest.
I know, we're just going to take a drive-by. Just get the attorney, of course. We just be sure we stop by, take a look.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
I'll catch you. Bye-bye.
Mr. Lawrence.
Hi, Mr. Mello. It's Sergeant Silvesi. I just spoke to you. Oh, one second.
Yes, sir.
One second, sir. Roger. An officer swing by. Said there's 4 people like across the street holding signs. They weren't right in front. They were across the street. They're not impeding traffic, but so it seems kind of mellow. A small group now.
All right. Okay. Very good. If they could just swing by there once in a while, I'd appreciate
We'll
it
keep
very
on.
much.
Oh no, we'll keep on making passes. You know.
Very good.
All right.
Thank you, sir. I
No
appreciate
problem,
it.
sir. Have a good day. Bye bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Canton Police Officer Nick's recorded line.
Hi, Officer Nix. This is Attorney Ken Mel. I believe I just spoke with your sergeant there. Is he still available?
He's not. He just stepped out. Actually, he's walking back in the room, sir. Hold on.
Okay,
Let me put you on hold and I'll have him pick up, okay?
Thanks very much.
You're welcome, sir.
How can I help you?
Hi, Sergeant Ken Mello again.
No problem.
Do me a favor. Take a look at Chapter 268, Section 13A.
268.
13A.
Okay. I'll go ahead and get a book. Oh, 1 second, sir.
Okay. You give me a call back if you want, okay?
Okay, yes, sir, Mr. Mello. All right.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Hey, Mr. Mello, it's Sergeant Silvesi. So it looked up. So what do you want? What are you thinking of doing?
I think we're good enough to charge them, to be honest with you, at least this person. I mean, that's my take on it,
Yeah.
you know, but it looks like they meet every single requirement of that statute.
Okay. So we just go. We go up there. You want us to write a report and
Yeah, if you could
try to document who's there.
Yeah, if you could do that, yeah, please, if you can do that. I mean, check with your lieutenant. I don't want to, I'm not an officer in your department, but I'm looking at that statute and saying they're across the street. They're certainly near Albert's place.
All right.
He's a witness, and they're certainly there for purposes of influencing or whatever else the statute states.
Yeah.
They're not there for any other reason.
All right. So it's punishable by no more than a year in prison and a fine of no more than $5,000. So,
correct.
All right. So we can go up there. We can try to figure out. I mean, I think we could probably figure out a couple of them. Maybe not all of them where they are, because we can ask them and they can just tell us, pound sand, not tell them, and we try to find them, see where the cars they go to or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I guess we can go from there and just
Sure. I mean, I don't know if you can reach your chief to see how she feels about it, or okay. Great. I appreciate it very much, Sergeant.
No problem, sir.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Pretty telling, huh? And Ava, you're absolutely right. Ava asked while we were listening, wait, what? How did Mello know? Well, isn't that the $1 million question? How did Mello know? And did the McAlberts call Morrissey and Morrissey called Mello? Kind of is looking that way. I don't know how that could happen otherwise. So I found that was very interesting little tidbit there. So the next one, doggone it, Siri, she needs to leave me alone. That is the most eavesdroppingest woman I've ever met in my entire life. Okay. Next one, I am going to not make you all sick while I find it. How about that? That's grand, isn't it? So this next hyperlink that I'm going to get my hands on here, I'm going to pre-warn. I try to keep things very clean on my YouTube channel, but unfortunately, sometimes when it comes to law, there can be some very unclean things that are in court filings. And this, unfortunately, happens to be one. So, this was sent to Aidan Carney by Jen McCabe. It is a mostly nude man, and it appears that there is some sort of Canadian maple leaf or something on the groin area of the attire he is wearing. And Aiden asks, "Is that Matt?" And she says, "Ha ha, it's your boy," and then redacted. And he says, "Who's redacted?" And then she says, "Sorry to bother you. Have fun in Mashpee." And he says, "I'm not in Mashpee, but I'll be in Canton again soon. Are you still fearing? Did you ever figure out how long to die in cold?" So I thought that was kind of an interesting exhibit to be included in the Megamotion. I certainly felt like I was getting enlightened by what I was reading, and I understood why people wanted me to check out the hyperlinks, Janet. And then the next link. Oh, everybody. Does everybody remember the hostage video? You know, the Morrissey hostage video? I'm not going to play the whole thing because it is way longer than I remembered it the first time I watched it. Let's see. This is page 26.
This will be the first statement of its kind in my dozen years of the harassment of witnesses in the murder prosecution of Karen Reed is absolutely baseless. It should be an outrage to any decent person, and it needs to stop. Innuendo is not evidence. False narratives are not evidence.
Y'all, knowing what we know now, how does this man show his face in your communities? I don't understand it. I mean, he went on and on and on and on and defended the Alberts and the McCabe's. And again, knowing what we know now, it is so enraging to me that this prosecution continued and continued. And and we're not done because there's more hyperlinks. Let me find the rest of them. Y'all don't want to watch Meatball for this whole big 5.5 minutes, almost 6 minutes. Oh dear Lord, that'll shorten our lives. We're not going to do that. Sorry, but I will take us to the next little tidbit that I have here, which is Kate Peter admitting to some of the setup. The setup that Lindsay Gaetani said isn't a setup. That one. Are y'all following me now? That one.
Did you ever?
And I ran out of time here. I really wanted to watch this entire little exchange that took place, but we're gonna play a little bit here. I think there's 30 minutes or so left on it. I'm not going to do that. We're going to get the flavor of what is here, unless you all tell me in the chat. Yeah, go ahead, Janet. Let that baby run. That'll be
for copyright strike him.
Yes.
Did you present a falsified complaint, federal copyright claim complaint?
100% yes.
Okay. Do you know who Marcus, Erico, Emmer, and Brooks is?
Yes.
I'm assuming that in your current line of work, they represent your employer. Am I close? I'm not trying to disclose who your employer is or anything like that, but I'm going to assume that, and your close is close enough. Do you know Gary Daddario?
Why are you asking that?
I ask a lot of the dumb questions. Some of them are pointed.
I know Gary.
Okay. Did Gary ever prepare a complaint for you?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Okay. what were your finances like between, let's say, the middle of 2018 to the middle of 2020? Were you flush? Were you a little shy of money during that time?
No, I'm about the same I am now. I've never been flush, but I support myself and my children pretty comfortably.
Okay. So you weren't having any financial issues during that time?
No.
Okay. No lawsuits, small claims lawsuits about any monies that you owed during that time?
I mean, I honestly don't. I mean, there's probably some out there. I don't really attend to them.
Okay. Did you do any fundraising during that time?
Yes.
Did you do any fundraising for specific purposes or just general, give me money, I'm having a hard time paying?
No, it was specifically for, I was planning to sue Turtle Boy is what happened.
Okay.
So I don't know if y'all follow this individual on the YouTube, but I have checked out a few things, and her demeanor in this particular exchange is very, very different than what I have seen in the past from her. Now, I could be wrong, but she seems a little bit back on her heels. She's not completely prepared to answer some of these questions, and it seems a little uncomfortable for her. And that is not how her YouTube channel is. She is just all about it. So just want to keep that in mind. We're going to listen a little bit longer because the fact that she's evading some of these questions and doing and handling things the way she is fascinating to me when I see how she is in other exchanges on YouTube.
Okay. How much money approximately did you raise to sue Turtle Boy?
I believe it was around $3,000.
$3,000.
Yeah.
And what happened to that money?
It was actually spent on an attorney for a clerk magistrate's hearing that was brought against me by the Holden police, where Aiden had falsely claimed that I had hacked his devices. So the Holden police declined to file charges, but he badgered them. So they finally kind of rolled over and said, well, we'll turn it over to a clerk magistrate. So I actually only had a handful of donors for that, and this was discussed. I can think of one person who has taken exception to it, who has been offered to just take a refund for years. But I can tell you that the main, well, I'm not going to tell you who. Aiden would know who the main donor in that was. If you really thought about it, Aiden would know who the main donor in that was. That is someone who did not take any exception to it being rolled over to attorney's fees for something else. And then it was discussed afterwards whether, going at pursuing another claim would be prudent. But I've gone on and off over that throughout the years. The fact of the matter is the guy is fucking judgment proof. He is. It's fucking judgment proof. I'm learning that with my current situation now. Like, I'm not going to continue to be on the defensive all the time and go, oh, if you lie about me, I'm going to sue you. That's not how I want to handle things today. It was back then. I've learned a lot since then. A lot.
So we're getting a flavor here, huh? Yeah. Very interesting to me. I again, like I say, I'm not going to play the entire thing. Feel free on your own to go check it out. I was just fascinated in the demeanor because Ms. Demeanor was fascinated with the demeanor. Looking what I did there. It's not the Kate Peter I've seen elsewhere. And as far as whether I believe Aiden Carney falsely accused her of getting into his electronic devices or not is really not up for debate. That's not what I'm here for. But I can tell you, based on history and the fact that she completely forged a complaint with YouTube, yeah, I'm going to believe Aiden over her, because she's already proven herself to me to be a complete liar. And beyond a complete liar, she's perfectly okay with wasting the court's time on frivolous, false allegations. That is not what our court system is for. It is not for your personal vendetta enjoyment. That's not the purpose of it. So I get real heated about this kind of stuff. I'm sorry. It just makes me mad to waste money and time, especially for, I mean, I don't even live in Massachusetts. I would be spitting nails if I lived there. So that was the admission. And then this was the next really super interesting thing that I stumbled upon when I was doing all of these hyperlinks. Very, very interesting in reference to Aiden Carney's arrest. And is any of this new to anyone here? I did not take the time to hit every single hyperlink the first time I read it. I did today. Let's see. For heaven's sake, Janet. Bear with me. Okay. This is when they were going to arrest Aiden, and they make reference specifically to KP and what information they had from her at the time. I'm going to try to, yeah, there we go. Absolutely, Ava. I think he can be over the top. I think that sometimes he goes a little bit too far. I'm not big on name calling. I'm definitely not big on making comments about individuals' appearance and those kinds of things. However, just because I don't agree with how someone chooses to exercise their freedom of speech does not mean that I want their freedom of speech squashed. And it definitely doesn't mean I want false allegations pitted against that individual. I mean, I truly feel like this is a part of what's wrong in our society is if we are offended, that automatically means the other party is wrong. No, if you're offended, it means you're just offended. Sorry. As my son would say when he was very, very young, build a bridge and get over it. That's what more people need to learn how to do. Constitutional rights are constitutional rights, regardless of who is in need of defending them. And I'll stop on that. I'm going to go ahead and play this. I hope I can. I've got the volume all the way up. It's a little sketchy. So here we go.
Sir, from KP, it was the same thing yesterday. 2 older kids got on around the same time as now, but it was definitely 8:30. Received. It should be plus 30. Standing on a comms check. Kevin. R9, sir. Ollie. We got you, Johnny. CCU. R9. Worcester. R9. Cat. R9. Ryan. R9. Crime scene. R9. Received. R9 on my end. And we'll just stand by for word. All units on that. Disregard. There's a school van, a gray school van that just pulled in there now. Someone wants to drive by.
So we all remember there were some cryptic messages that were put on, I think it was on X is where I remember seeing it. And it was in reference to something happening, or Aiden knows what's going to happen. And it definitely alluded to the fact that Kate Peter knew when Aiden was going to be arrested. That's a problem. It definitely made it look like she knew exactly when that was going to go down. I don't know if y'all remember that or not. And I know we've got a light crowd here tonight. I just as I was getting ready to go live tonight, I saw that attorney Melanie Little was also going live. And I know y'all would much rather hear an actual attorney talk to you than to hear silly old misdemeanor, some middle-aged woman that likes to talk true crime. So I appreciate you hanging out with me, because I know you have other choices you can make. But the last part is the chart, and that starts on what, page 61? Yeah, that's way ahead here. Let's breeze on through to the 61s, because this is kind of fascinating to me. And the reason it's fascinating to me is because the names that they have shown that they changed this to, it's so prejudicial. Hi, Heidi. Thanks for joining us. Hi, thank you. And so the first one, the actual episode is titled Turtle Boy Returns to Canton, Door Knocking, Grilling Public Officials, Cops Called on Me. They titled it McCabe Residence. What in the world? And then we go down. McCabe's want to kill me. Sean McCabe isn't happy. Karen Reed speaks out. They named it Confronting McCabe's outside Norfolk Superior Court. Really? Well, that doesn't sound ominous at all. Next one, Karen Reed case. Where is Michael Proctor? Oh, no, folks. We named that one Need to Go to McCabe's Soccer Game Again. This is outrageous. The names that they put on these. Here's an especially hideous one. It's actually called Kendra Lara Crash, Sean Interview, Paul O'Keefe and Carl Dougal Defend Canton Murderers. And they named it Can Kick Colin Albert's Ass. What? Trying to destroy Colin Albert's life. The real title is Karen Reed Case. Commonwealth tells more lies about John O'Keefe's GPS data. Oh, I see the correlation there. Oh, that makes perfect sense to me. It goes on and on. Oh, I didn't even notice this. Y'all, this Amiri King wants to fight Turtle Boy. Canton updates Annie Bev Canoni out of control. I just realized. Okay, so you may not have known, I've had some crazies come after me on X today. Fortunately, misdemeanors got really good, solid armor, so I'm good. But this King woman, I think it's a woman, this Amiri King, I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I'm sorry, lady or man, if I am all wrong. I don't know. I only know your name on like social media. But they have sent some kind of crazy things from time to time. So, and it's funny that this keeps happening to me because, you know, y'all found out about me just recently, but I've existed for a long time. And so I know the names on social media that do crazy things. I don't know the people behind them. I'm starting to learn that, but I don't know all of the people behind it. So that can be a little scary to me. But it's interesting to me that the same behavior that I disliked that I saw them do to other people, they can then turn around and do to me. And so, oh, Ava, you don't have to do that, honey. You don't have to. And Heidi, it was, I don't know who this Andy Dufresne, something like that. Andy Albert or something like that. I don't know who that is, but it was funny because whoever this is, they had tweeted my comment that I made. I tweeted about, what did I tweet about? Oh, about the O'Keefes and their attorneys and how much hatred. I mean, y'all, I could feel in my home in another state the hatred, not anger, hatred. And so I mentioned something on X to that effect. And this particular Andy Albert Dufresne person did like a screenshot or something and then shared it and said, is this person even real? Something to that effect. Well, I know this. And it's spelled Dufresne. I don't know. I assume that's Dufresne. I don't know. Maybe I'm saying that wrong too. Maybe it's Dufresne. I don't know. But anyway, I thought it was hilarious because I knew of this person, years ago, being on X, even back then when it was still called Twitter. And I didn't care for how they interacted with individuals. And seeing that, asking whether I was a real person or not, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so funny to me. And so then I reposted that tweet and said, now this is funny because to me, I think it's hilarious to sit here. I already know all these people, and to sit there and act like you don't know who I am or whether I'm a real person. Of course I'm a real person. I'm not a bot. I'm not a sock account. That was one of the comments they had on there. And it's like, it was funny to me that statement was made. And then of course there's other vitriol that comes out from other people. And I don't even know who they are. I don't respond. I just, if anybody wants to be ugly, be ugly. I don't care. It's not how I roll. I would far rather be kind and uplifting and do what is right instead of being right, because those two things are not necessarily the same all the time. Doing right and being right can be two different things. I would rather do right, and even if that means that I'm not going to actually be right. So, I don't engage in that. I find pretty much everything online in internet is funny to me because it's not real. People become something they aren't actually in real life when they can hide behind a screen. And so I really don't take it seriously. I have very thick skin. I would hope that anybody that ever paid attention to how I kind of came on the scene, it was because people thought I was in the courtroom and that I was a man dressed in drag. Now, you could be really offended by that, or you can laugh and go, that's freaking funny. And I chose to laugh and say that's freaking funny because it is funny that people would think that I'm a man dressed in drag and that I was Jimmy. And y'all, oh, I love Jimmy. I love Jimmy. So there couldn't have been a better person for me to be compared to or think that I was. I mean, it was delightful. Absolutely. Now, I did give him some grief this last Saturday. I don't know if anybody was on his live with him, but I was chatting and letting him know that, he hadn't been talking to me, and he was delightful. He was really delightful about it. So, yeah, I don't feel like you need to get all involved in other people's personal arguments. I know that there are content creators that are arguing. I want no part of it. It's just my little world here. I am always, always ever so grateful to have anybody come and sit in on a live stream of mine. And then definitely in the replay crew, I could not be more gracious to everyone who has reached out and followed along with me. So, I do different stuff than some of the other content, like the Ryan Ruth thing, and we've covered Ellen Greenberg and Grant Solomon and some of those things, some of those cases. So I'm not always going to be doing just that same mainstream stuff that everybody else does, because those are cases that interest me. So I'm super excited to get out of Massachusetts for a little while later this year and do the Courtney Clenny case, and I'm hoping to start doing a countdown on what that case actually looks like. So back to the chart. Sorry, I've had several rants tonight. I guess I had things I needed to get off my chest, but you can see life as normal is over. There's another one what? Impromptu live. Alberts should be afraid. The actual name was Impromptu Live. Karen Reed's parents go on Boston 25 News and new bombshell information. What in the Lord's name are we even trying to accomplish? And it goes on and on and on. It is truly astounding to me the lengths that the Commonwealth will go to in order to win in their cases. Now, I do want to talk just a little bit. I don't have any video or anything like that on the hearing yesterday. I don't know what will happen. I don't know how the judge is going to rule on that. I know how I would like to see it go down. I would like to see all of those additional individuals included in this case. I think it makes sense to do it that way. I don't know. It's Massachusetts. I don't know if he's going to go for that. I don't know if he's going to do it. I will be anxiously awaiting to see how that all unfolds. It's going to be a long road. Civil cases do not have the sense of urgency that criminal cases do. And he's talking about trial dates in 2027. Yeah. 2027. That's a long, when you're an old girl, that's a long time. You just, every day I pray that, God lets me grace the earth another 24 hours. So 2027. So we'll see how that actually happens. Tomorrow, Aidan Carney. I am now fully expecting that charges will be dismissed. I can't believe I'm saying that, because I thought they would take this right to the death. But I think that they've made it so messy, and Lindsay out here going crazy, y'all. Did y'all have that on your bingo card? I did not see Lindsay Gaetani going, I'm going to get my phone out here and I'm just going to shoot myself a little video of how I feel. Y'all, I didn't have that on my bingo card. Good for her. Good for her. If she's got receipts to back up what she's saying, I say, motor on, girl. I couldn't support you more. So, is there anything that we need to talk about that we haven't talked about? And Heidi, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I try to give some nice variety and not just do the same old thing that everybody else is covering, because that can get duplicitous very, very quickly. I thought for sure, yes, I think they will be dismissed. I thought for sure someone was going to go after her. Are we talking about Lindsay? Is that the her that you're referring to? Because I think she's kind of doing some of these videos and everything and getting this information out there for her own safety. I mean, I don't know what's happening up there in Massachusetts, as I call it, because it's a mess. But I think there's a strong possibility she's protecting herself. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I thought that's who you were talking about, Heidi, is yes, Lindsay. I don't blame her. I don't blame her for taking care of it the way she has. I did genuinely have the question over the weekend. She sounds a little under the influence in her video, and I don't remember seeing her speak in the past and sounding like that. And so I legitimately was curious if there was some substances being consumed and that was making her appearance and her ability to speak different than what I had seen from her in the past. And I think everybody kind of agreed. It does kind of look like maybe there was some substance there. I hope, if that is the case, that she doesn't have any long-term or long-standing issue with that. Addiction is so heinous, such an awful disease. And I would never, ever wish that on anybody. I have lost a family member to severe alcoholism. So it's devastating to watch an individual be completely overtaken and consumed with a substance. So I hope that's not the case. And I would never want to make fun of someone in that situation, but it was legitimately like, what's going on here? So we've got Turtle Boy Aiden Carney case tomorrow. I don't even have my stinking list. I post the schedule, but let's see. Oh, I got to make sure that I don't blow you out with some volume here. I know that, Aiden's case is tomorrow. And, also tomorrow, I'll be on with Lady Zelda. Make sure you tune in then. I don't even know what she and I are going to talk about, but I'll guarantee you it'll be fun and exciting. And, Thursday is the Walsh King and the 3 other defendants hearing. Are y'all following any of this craziness? This is the one that involves Lolly and Proctor possibly having to testify in discovery. With Rose Scapiccio. I think I said her name correct this time. Yeah, I don't know if she's trying to be a Kardashian or not. It was weird. It didn't come off that way. I literally was like, girl, please tell me you haven't been drinking. Please tell me that you're not consuming some illicit medication or drugs or something like that. So that is on Thursday. So Brian Walsh, Miles King, and then the other 3 defendants that are all embroiled in this craziness that is Massachusetts. And then Friday, and I don't expect there'll be a whole lot that happens on the hearing on Friday, but Friday's hearing is going to be, I believe, in Kentucky, and that is Laken Snelling. Laken Snelling is the University of Kentucky cheerleader who was pregnant, hid the pregnancy, and a baby's body was found wrapped in a blanket in the closet of her. I guess it was an apartment. I don't think it was a dorm. And so that'll be on Friday. I'm hoping, and I'm going to try to do some digging between now and Friday to find out if there have been any autopsy results, or if possibly that might be part of what the hearing is about on Friday. If I can get tuned in electronically while I'm at work, but don't tell anybody, I will definitely be doing that and covering it. Probably not until probably next week is when we'll talk about Lake and Snelling. So we've got that one to keep on the radar. I know Courtney Clenny is coming up. Barry Morphew has a hearing coming up the beginning of November, I think. We have Donna Adelson, the status hearing that's going to take place in October. I think it is the 14th. That's going to be a PSI hearing. I don't think that she'll be sentenced that day, but maybe just a status on what her mental health is. And I love Rosemary too. She's a boss. Go, Rosemary. She is what my dad, when I was growing up, would always call a broad. And I mean that in the nicest, most respectful, most admirable way. Rosemary is a broad. I love it. So we'll try to do some countdowns on Courtney Clenny. I wish I could live stream during that trial and we could do commentary and chat and everything, but that stupid day JOB is getting in the way of that. So, but I do, unless you all have something pressing that you want to discuss, I am ever so grateful that you chose to hang out with me tonight. Tune in with Lady Zelda and myself tomorrow night. I believe we're co-streaming, so I think you should be able to go to either one of our YouTube channels to get signed into that tomorrow night. And then we will see what happens with the Turtle Boy and with the Rosemary boss lady in Lake and Snelling by the end of this week. And with that, I will bid you adieu. Remember, it doesn't cost a penny to be kind, so find someone to do something nice for if you haven't already today. And as always, make good choices.